Welcome to Forever Home channel. On this platform, we discuss all things related to Ghana and Africa. Our real estate company, Royal Consulting Solution, is the foremost location for all your land acquisition, building needs, relocation, and starting a successful business in Ghana. We also provide quality information through our consultation and webinar series. We can be reached at royalconsultingsolutions.com. Come join the trusted source for all your reliable information. Hello. Let's do some mic check and video audio check. Let me know if you guys can hear me and see me, all the good stuff. Anyway, I hope all is well. I can see some eyeballs, so just check in, and then let me know who's here. Anyway, I hope everybody is doing very well. Today's what, Saturday. You know what happens Saturday around noon. We have our regular schedule. And we discuss all things related to doing something back home, and how to help you navigate through some of the challenges and get things done. And so Joey's here. Sound is low. Okay. Let me. Is it better? Is it better, Joe? Does it sound better? Let me know if the sound is good. Sounds low. Okay. All right. So, or maybe I need to speak up a little bit louder. So one of the things I wanted to share with you today is um, Hajia. Thank you for here. For coming much better. Okay, I think I'll just increase some decibels. Anyway, so one of the things I would like to share with you, I thought I've done enough, land acquisition videos, but you never know. Things keep coming up. So anyway, one of the things that I would like you guys to put in mind is that there's a tendency to believe that if you're dealing with a real estate company, they are not subjected to some of the issues that we find ourselves in if we deal with individuals, sellers. But it's not true. Um, some of these real estate companies you got to keep an eye on, okay? Because it seems like they're doing the same way what other people are doing, which is sometimes selling land to you that is actually out of their jurisdiction, or what um, out of the compound, or the place that was allocated to them when they made a deal with the original landowner. And so that is coming up, becoming an issue. So you want to be really, really careful with that. So that means how you protect yourself is, like I've always said, you have to do your search. Your search is very, very important. You can hear me? Hmm. Can the rest of you hear me? Um, and so one of the things I want you guys to basically, let me do this. Let me check one thing. Is it sound better? I keep going in and out. Okay, let me do this. Let me change. Let me change the mic. Let me change audio and see. Is it better? Okay, is it better now? So let me know if sound is better. I change the mic. Okay, I was much better. Okay, oh, good. Thank you for the feedback. Let me turn this off. You never know these things. Okay, thanks for the feedback. Thank you. So anyway, one of the things I was saying is that the site plan is a must. It's a must. And another thing that's also coming up is sometimes you really the person that is handling
the documentation for you may not be may not really understand what they need to do. They might not really understand what the document they have, how important the document is, because they are just going by the words of what the seller, i.e., the real estate company is telling them, right? And so I've always said it doesn't matter what they're telling you. Um, you have to look at it. You have to really, really do the the search, right? Preferably do a thorough search so you can find out the history of the land, because this thing is becoming a problem. We have situation people are building and people are showing up with titles of the land and claiming other things. So you really, really want to be careful. You really want to be careful with that, and stuff like that, because it is becoming a problem. Um, and so you have to, no matter who you buy from, you have to do your homework, right? There's no substitution. So before you cough up that money, you must make sure you know exactly what is going on, especially because my goal is to help you protect yourself, right? Land litigation is a mess. It's a really mess. Yeah, I don't want you to get yourself caught up. It's very, very stressful. Headache is going to end up costing you more money. That I don't think is the best use of money and stuff like that. So look into that. If we also offer that service in terms of doing the cadastral plan and run it both primarily in Accra and Cape Coast and stuff like that. So that's something we also provide. And they will send you a copy of actually the result and that kind of stuff. So you can find out that who owns the land before you buy. And ideally, the rule is if your land is not, the registration is not in process, I'll say do not start building anything on it, please. You don't want to just take site plan and indenture from the company and you start building. That's a no-no. Um, because sometimes this is what happens. Let's say I own the land, I sell it to you, 40,000 CDs, right? And then a year later, I find out that you haven't registered the land. Somebody comes and they want the land for, let's say, 70,000. And then what happens is like, people who sell it for that higher amount and they have that person register. When you come back, they can afford to pay your 40,000, right? And stuff like that. So, but pay, just go through the process and make sure you secure, you secure the property before you start actually building anything. Does that make sense? Okay, if you have any questions, you can start throwing them in there. Okay, let me see. Lady Shorten, I put a question on earlier. Design. Let me put a question here. Yes. So everything we discuss is confidential to you, and so and the consultation is where you actually get. We don't just narrow to specific things that you are consulting on. We just give you the whole picture. So like for example, if you come to consultation on just land, we probably also would discuss about the building process as well within the time frame. So yes, like we never share your plan with with anybody unless the building team and stuff like that. But yes, so it is confidential. Okay, so let me see. Thanks for checking out. Other than that, I'm hoping. So one thing that I also want you to be keep an eye on is also the currency. You know the the currency fluctuations between the dollar and the cities or the euros and the pounds and so you also want to strategically place yourself to use it when it's more beneficial to you as well and stuff. So we go into depth when we do a consultation about what at what point we think we should take on certain projects and stuff like that, and also how you should go about it to just maximize your money and stuff like that. So there's always a benefit of you doing that because for first time people, it's like you really want to know, you want to get information out there, and also because sometimes your builder may not be able to relate to you living in the West and what you want and all that kinds of stuff. So you want to make sure you use somebody that's understand to execute. Um, for example, you might tell them you want a crawl space and they don't know what a crawl space is, and stuff like that. So it is to your benefit that you arm yourself with information, and then so you can be very, very successful in your pursuit, because hopefully you don't spend 10 building, and if that's the case, that's fine, but we want the 25% of the homes that are not completed in Ghana. We want to be able to reduce some of that, so that you can actually go and visit, and then start your business and relocate if that's what you want to do and stuff like that. So, but we believe in, if you want to move, at least have your place. It's going to remove a lot of the financial obligation in terms of renting, give you that stability. Then you can move the resources and all the other stuff, and then for business and that kind of stuff. So and other than that, renting, going there to rent is different than actually owning a place. Because I think when you own a place, there's this inclination to actually want to do something because I've already invested heavily in that aspect, right? And then nobody can take that away from you, and then you actually um, create some investment opportunity as well. All right. So um, you can post any questions on land, no bid and aspect. And so hopefully you guys are still keeping the dream alive. We have a lot of stuff going on. I think usually around the spring we have some sale for Blueprint. I'll let you know when the website is offering some sales. Usually it's about 10%. The most I've seen is like 15% on Blueprint. So I'll post that on my community page when that's become available. So I think we have spring, summer, and the fall. And so there's about 30,000 plans over there that you can look into, at least if not buy anything, gives you some idea how you are going to do your blueprints, and that kind of stuff. So because the layout, is very, very important. It's very, very important in that kind of stuff. Okay. So I'm gonna so this question, right? We're gonna address this thoroughly coming up. I'm playing with another channel that I'm creating to see which we're gonna go. Asset protection, right? It is very, very important that you protect these things. We're gonna go deep into how you protect it, from the people you are buying it from, and you have to protect it from sometimes family members. And you also have to make sure that when this thing is well to the next generation, you can protect it, right, in multiple areas, and also how to protect the document itself, to be easily accessible in multiple places and that kind of stuff. So we're gonna go. I think this is very, very important, because if you don't protect it, there's a probability you're going to lose some of these things. And so it's like, now, it will suck to work so hard, have somebody come out with any kind of ways, whether it's manipulation, whether it's using the legal entity in that jurisdiction to take something that you have worked hard for. I think that is not fair. I think that is wrong. So we're gonna talk deep about these things, because I feel like it's a paramount. It's really paramount. So uh, Keduku, that's a very good thing. But we're gonna work on that on another channel, okay? So the webinars. So our webinars is every two. So the second week of every month, and the end of the last month, the Saturday. So that's the Saturday. It's about $35 for, depending on how many people show up, we could go to an hour. But also the challenge is, you have to remember that whatever you put out there is also, you have other webinars listening in. So your ideas. who, I can't control whether they take your advice, your ideas and use them. And so, but at least it comes at a cheaper rate. But if you want more privacy, get extended time, then book the consultation, which is open every day except Sundays. Okay. Yeah. So I've looked at that. I think for this build that I did, I was looking at that option. Ideally, I wanted the horizontal interlocking blocks, but I couldn't find the mode. The one that I saw in Ghana is a square one. So ideally, just like with anything, if it's installed properly, but the interesting thing is the people that are using that, it's kind of like negating the process because you're still using about 2 inch thick mortar in between, right? Then what is the point of doing that? So because ideally you want to apply a thin layer, uh, preferably your mixture ratio is very good because you're applying a thin layer and you want it to be solid. So people are doing that at a certain point. We will start looking into that. So assuming it's being installed properly, um, it's fine. So you have to remember to when something come up, it takes some time for people to build the skill base and the experience, right? The worst thing you want is to hand it over to somebody who's going to be playing with this thing for the first time. Okay, so if the breaks are made in terms of the ratio, done well. If the motor ratio is good and installation is well, it's fine. Well, is when it comes to energy efficient, there's a lot of things. It's not just the material. I think people are underestimating this thing. There's a lot of things. Energy efficient can be layout too. How to get the rooms airy and all that. So material is just one thing. No one material is going to fix all that problem. And also to rotation of building too, right? If you're in direct sunlight. So there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things that you have to put in place to actually make it more energy efficient. It's not one thing. Yes, certain materials absorb more heat than others, but I think people are overestimating just by using one material is going to. No, it's not. It's not. Also, the window installation, um, whether it's one glaze, double glaze. So it goes from material, even roofing type, layout, the window installation, direction the building's facing. It's a lot of things. Okay, it's a lot of things. Lockdown is fine because it is affecting it a little bit. I mean the secondary lockdown, not to that extreme, but so you also have to factor in, building, make sure like people are maintaining, that space, but over there, people really don't follow those things. But it's not too bad. We can still move around, a little bit. Most of the time, what we try to do is like we try to make sure we get all the materials on site at a given time, so at least we can go there, and work. Because it's like construction industry is a big way for a lot of employment. So I mean, when you shut it down, what are these people going to do, right? But prices are beginning to creep up, cement and iron rods and stuff like that. So because like the corona just affected every business, some more so than others. But I also think that the thing that corona did also to was to expose everything, right? To expose companies, to expose countries, and on an individual level. Maybe it's like because some people lost their job and stuff like that, and so maybe it started pushing people to become more financially responsible. Because there's no guarantee next year we wouldn't have another version of something else. And so that is why people got to be diligent. So if anything, those who are intelligent, Corona actually prevent them from spending out of their mind and just putting things in place because there's no guarantee and stuff like that. So it has affected us to some point, but not too drastically. Yeah. No, 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 no. There's no requirement that I know of that you have to put a door in the kitchen. You see, this I don't like this. I really don't like this. Okay, I'm all about being authentic and being truthful. Okay, some of these architects, lack of creativity, are pushing things on people. Right? If you're an architect, your goal is to deliver what a client wants. But to say that you have to put what is the value of putting a door in the kitchen? They're probably gonna give you two. One would be for stinky food. Listen, I mean, nobody's cooking stinky food. From here, moving down there. Why will you cook something cook it outside? Okay. The other reason might be maybe in case there's fire, you can close the door. Yeah, yeah, but get a fire extinguisher. Okay. And so that is the thing. But I think it's more of a creativity issue because most of the time they have some blueprint that they want to shove it down everybody's throat, right? And stuff. So yeah, I would never have a door in my kitchen. Never. If I build 1,000 homes, there'll be never a door in the kitchen. Okay, so that's not true. Um, yeah, yeah. I mean, Kirudu, I mean, the issue is this, right? And this is just not even in Ghana. You see, nature. The thing about life and nature is that when you are not responsible, when you don't want to take care of certain things, something is going to happen. Something is going to occupy that space and take care of it. So the idea that if we, the Ghanaians or even the Africans, don't want to do what we should do, that is necessary, some entity is going to take it over, and it's going to happen. That's how nature works. And so is if it's not a Chinese, it's going to be somebody else. And then one day we're going to wake up and we don't have a land. Maybe it's supposed to be this way. And that is what it is going to happen. So until we, from the government to the individual level, decides that listen, we must start taking care of these things. It's gonna happen, and then they're gonna monopolize everything. Okay. Um, Think an exit door means of escape in event of fire. So you have to understand this thing, right? You have to. This is what people must understand. Okay, you're gonna have two kinds of fire primarily, right? Something electrical related, or maybe cooking, oil, something fire. Yeah. Now remember, so the building materials we use in Ghana, it takes a while to burn down. If you remove the wooden element, which would be the door frames, and then maybe the window frames and the cabinet and that kind of stuff. So I mean, the idea that I'm gonna be in the kitchen and then fire is gonna burn me and kill me is very. I have time, and so what I tell people is like get a fire extinguisher because here's the thing: the more entry point and exit point you have for the house, the more you're giving access to somebody to come in. Okay. You can't have, so when we do our security stuff, we talk about this stuff. Okay. Because if you have a way for somebody to come in all the way across the other side, you may not even hear if they're trying to break in, right? So get a fire extinguisher. Okay. Get a fire extinguisher. You'll be fine. Fire extinguisher, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. I have it in every bedroom at Castle and all my kitchen in the hallway. So it will be nearly impossible for some kind of smoke or fire to start then I'm not. And when I hear it, I have ample of enough time to get out of the house and use the fire extinguisher. Okay. So um yeah, you can but the thing too, if you do, the problem is when you do a sprinkler system, assuming you gotta have the equipment, right, to do that. So um you have to invest in that. But I think the way our fire happens, if you have fire extinguisher, I think I have like 5 or 6, whatever how many I have. You because it's not like the fire is gonna be engulfed, like unless it's deliberate, unless it's really deliberate. Because those those carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide are very, very sensitive. The moment the smoke goes on or the gas is gonna go quickly and it's very loud. You're gonna hear it everywhere. So you have ample of time so a fire extinguisher playing in adequate places will I can say 98% will solve the problem. Okay, most homes don't have it. Even the $1 million homes they're trying to sell people, they don't even have this thing. So it's all about planning, right? It's all about planning using things that is more effective. So it's just about thinking, and that's what we do when we do consultation. We figure everything out. I look at the limitations of the house, then we can say, okay, let's do this, let's do that, and that kind of stuff. So um, this if you want to wait for the fire service, depending on where you are, it's like, they're gonna be there in time. And so you have to plan and put these things, inadequate. And so I think fire extinguisher, carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide combo she'll get you by. And then make sure you're changing the batteries on the carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide every year. They are cheap, but make sure it works. The worst thing is, fire start and then those things don't work. So change them every year. I think they're supposed to last about 2 years, but change them every year. Okay. Let me make sure um I haven't forgot anything. So let me see. So throw a question. So it's all about planning. Unfortunately for us, we have to spend. This is what I figure. I figure 10% to about 15% of the budget that you're going to use to eventually finish the house will be certain things that you have to do because the environment that we're living in does not make those infrastructure available. So it's going to be education system. It's going to be even your security aspect. Is going to be like your fire and that kind of stuff. So you have to take care of that, stuff like that. So even if you live in a good neighborhood or I think is very, very important. It's very, very important to put those things in place. Okay. Other than that, um, good evening. Pantane. Okay, so what is going on in Pantane area? Elaborate. Um, that's my old wait when I used to live in Medina. Okay, so it's just think it is. So it's luxury, comfort, security, quality of build. So there's a lot of things that you have to factor in. Yeah, and also if something happens and maybe the fire is crazy, you want to get out. There's other ways you can get out, right? You can really get out. Because the benefit is that it takes time for the whole thing to engulf. And one of the reasons that most people that die from the fire, this guy dying from inhalation of the smoke before the fire even engulf all the materials. I mean, if you're living like in a kiosk or some containers is a different thing. But if you live in like a solid block home, takes those cement blocks is going to take a long time, you know. And so it's about, if you can do that, you'll be fine. Okay, so don't let your architect push something down your throat and stuff like that. Because get what you want. Because in the end, it's going to be important, right? It's going to be open concept. You are in the heat. You're in the tropics. Heat is going to stay in there. The more boxy the room is, the more that heat is going to stay over there. It's going to cost you money to cool that places. So you want airflow and rotation of the house. Or if you're in a direct sun all the time, that heat is gonna come in there. Um, and stuff like that. So that means you have to repositioning certain windows, and so it's about taking care of the details. All right. So other than that, those who came late, we started with the land stuff. Side plan, side plan, side plan, side plan, side plan. Okay. Look into that. Do your side plan, verify before you give money. Um, so I so last week I said this. I think I figured out the alternative to burglar proof, but I will never put it publicly here. I'm still doing some drawings on them. I think I figured it out because I figured a weak point. And so I'm still, I have an idea that's going to work, but I'm not gonna put it publicly. I'll never put it publicly, but I think it can still give you the security. Granted, think about it, even bank vaults get broken in. And so when we talk about security, it's a multi-layer facet. No one thing is going to prevent a determined criminal from coming in, but there's other things that you can do to make sure it makes it difficult, and there's consequences if they choose that lifestyle. But those things will never be public. So if you really want to know stuff, contact me. We can do a consultation, and then I can give you some options, right? But the second house, I'm not doing burglar proof, um, except maybe some two tiny windows, but I'm not doing burglar proof. Yeah, so they do have so some burglar proof they have the collapsible ones windows so people can fold. Assuming that uh, because how you position the fireplace, right? Because remember, every bedroom has a carbon monoxide and a carbon dioxide. Then when you exit, assuming the fire extinguishers are placed adequately in position. So let's say you're in a bedroom and it start. The moment there's a little bit smoke, that thing is gonna pick that up quickly. You have assuming when you get out, you're not trying to pack something, right? I think you still have enough time because unless this is like deliberate, somebody's actually trying to burn their house down, right? That's a different thing. But if it's like electrical spark, that smoke, you have enough time to get out, even if you want to take the main door, because because the only way the main door is going to be burning is probably because it's burning from another room, i.e., if you have smoke detector, stuff like that, you've heard it. And so here, that is why there's a lot of smoke detector in the West compared to how to get out through the window, right? Most of the windows here you could get out, service a bare window, but there's smoke detectors and stuff like that. And imagine this place, the houses burn very quickly. So don't underestimate that. But I know some people do use the collapsible, window burglar proof. And I think too, you got to come up with a plan because when these things happen, you freeze, your mind goes into. So you got to come up with a plan with everybody in the house. Listen, when there's fire, I want everybody out. Okay, I don't want you, scrolling down looking for somebody. So you got to come up with this kind of thing. So Queens, how are you? Yeah, yeah. It's kind of those things that we wish we never have to do them, but it's just kind of like one of those things. Yes, aesthetically, yes, it takes away from the house, and stuff like that. So, but I'm working with something. We'll see. Um, yeah. But that's another one. It's expensive. No, there's all kinds of stuff that you can do, or I mean, there's a lot of stuff you can do before they actually even get to the window, right? Um, that's what somebody uses. Okay, okay. Yeah, so I like the fact that it has the manual option because electronic stuff. We know for a fact like even electronic dogs are not the most secure because the thing with electronics is like eventually something's gonna break down, right? And it happens to break down exactly when you don't want it to break down. So anything that has a manual component, right? So whatever you do, always have a manual component, whether it's a safe, whether it's electronic door, whether it's a window, always have a manual options, right? Because you want that. Okay. hmm So it's all about pre-planning, right? Pre-planning. You're gonna do a lot of research. Do a lot of research. Talk to you can talk to us. We can run all this stuff. And so you do it right the first time, right? Um, you know, even tempered glass. Where should it be? And stuff like that. So you got to play um because there's some places that it's just you don't want to feel like prison like, but you also want to have some level of safety. And so there's about at least 5 years, before somebody could actually touch you physically, or should be able to touch you physically in the house. And so it's just because even burglar proof can be broken in. We've seen that. So it's not just a thing; it's a multitude of things that needs to be addressed from the exterior perimeter all the way to the interior. Okay, let's say somebody has some access the house, they are inside. What options do you have? Are you safe from your room? So it's a lot of stuff. It's a lot of stuff that you can do. Okay, and so yep. So you mean like down proof? I mean like can you that current was down? Can you like elaborate? So I'm hoping you're saying if there's a down proof issue mode and stuff like that, do you have to decorate it? Oh, so let me know. But we need just elaborate, please. So that's what it is, right? It can be done if you've done your homework. Things can be done. Um, no, so we use that compaction machine basically because of the time constraint, right? Because I needed to make up time because I have changed my blueprint um, a lot, a lot. So I wanted to be there to get it guys right and setting everything. And so if I was gonna let in, it's not gonna work. And so just one of those things. But when you compact it, they have to really do it well because you want to make sure everything is all settled, the sand and everything is settled in. Um, and so it took about 5 hours to do that. And so that's a heavy duty machine. Actually, was really nice. But other than that, you can just feel it. Let it rains. Rainy season does its thing and compact it again and like feel it again and that kind of stuff. So it was just time. Yeah. So I mean, if you already have damp, you want to treat it. You want to treat it before you paint it. Okay. So treat it than in terms of decorating, painting, all than that. But what the mistake sometimes people do is when it's damp on the wall, they just put a stonework, right? Treat it. Okay. You just put in the stonework is not doing anything. It's just you're not visibly seeing the dampness. But it is there. And so treat it first if you do your design and stuff like that. Ideally, and that is why we did mine at the foundation level, right? Because then you even stop it from rising up. Okay. No experience in that. But our goal is this. We always looking at the new tech and stuff like that. And sometimes just like anything comes up, it's like, you have to wait and see the pros and cons and stuff like that. So uh we don't have any experience in that aspect yet. It's true. I agree. I agree. I agree. It's because I think the challenge is very detail work, right? It is very detail work, and so when you screw up the measure, and one thing you have to factor in, right, is that the rise from where you step up. You know, imagine in the West there might be carpeting, right? So with the carpeting, everything's about 6.5, 7 inches. And so if your builder sees that and they put, remember, 7, 8 inches, and sometimes they don't factor in that they have to do plastering and all that stuff, it becomes an issue. It really becomes an issue. And so you really have to, it's something that has to be really done well detailed and make sure that the rise and run is about the same, because if you're going to do tire work, it's going to increase the height and stuff like that. So it's very, very detailed work. Chances are you want to bring somebody who does that, your mason might not be able to execute. So then you have to, there's a couple ways you can do it. Then you have to probably paint from the ground up, go about 3 feet, exterior and interior before you paint it. That's the only way you're going to keep so you use the damp-proof solution and then do that. So, well, the most important thing is this, okay? Because sometimes you can be on the ground and you still don't know what is going on, right? So ideally, if you need to be on the ground, I would say that is the first option. But that is not the most important thing. The most important thing is just making sure that the document they're giving you is legitimate, and that you doing your search, right? And then making sure that when you get that document back, i.e., the site plan and indenture, you're gonna start processing this thing ASAP, right? Because what happens is, if the land is resold to somebody else, when they go into the system, they'll see your name will come up, right? And so that is what I think is the most important. So if somebody's working for you, you must make sure the person actually understand, because sometimes when what happens, like, people, they will get a site plan and a document, and that is like the land document, right? Doesn't mean squat. Anybody, I can sit down here and give you a site plan and that kind of stuff, right? Doesn't mean that. Is you have to go to the land commission and then start doing the work. Hopefully the person doing is actually doing a thorough research on the land, so who actually owns the land, before you pay any money, and that kind of stuff. So it's about, is detail work is very, very important. It's very important. It's probably the most, buying the land process to me is even more important than building the house. Because if you build a house in the wrong somebody's land, it's going to be a problem, right? So people get too excited about buying land. I'm trying to get, I'm trying to not make the land purchasing a big deal, so people can calm their emotions down and actually mentally calm down and sort out these things. Okay. So buying a land, it's not a big deal anymore. Okay, take your time and go through the process, and make sure that And then once you do follow up on the documentation and that kind of stuff, then you can start doing whatever fence wall foundation and start building. Okay. Yes, yes. Like button. If it's very important, click the like button. There's always one person that put thumbs down. Stop it. Okay. Yeah, yeah. So no. Oh, skylight tunnel. Okay. Really? Well, well, you should know what the land is. So ideally, you want to go see the land. It's possible, or at least get a GPS coordinate. Stuff like that. But you have to get a visual. You have to really get a visual on these things. So and don't make it personal, right? Don't listen. If I don't care who you are, if I'm doing land there, I'm gonna search. It's like it's not personal. It's just I'm gonna tell you this. Outside politics, the most dangerous arena is land acquisition. A lot of things happen that we don't speak about. So that is why we don't do a lot of that because it's very, very time consuming. Time consuming, and so it's like because we gotta take our time, go back a couple of times, do the research, and so we always tell people take even if it takes us 2 months, 3 months to get everything right. You want to be, you know, you want to be on the good side and get yourself caught up in something like that. So you want to know where it is, right? Those that like the people that we do land for and they're not in Ghana, we send in a document. We try to get them like a GPS uh, coordinate so they can also see it visually and stuff like that. We send them video, images, and that kind of stuff. But the documentation is a must. Don't trust what they give you. It doesn't matter whether it's a pastor, it's the president. It shouldn't matter. You go do your homework. Okay, go do your homework. Okay. So other than that, try to make sure. Let me see this thing. Okay. Okay. I think I answered that question. Um, okay. So pretty much, I wanted to, just, bring this to your attention and just, it's about, protecting your asset. I respect the money. I work hard. I don't sleep. I don't sleep a lot. I'm busy trying to, take care of responsibilities, and I know you are doing that. And so I want you to protect every dollar you put into anything. I want you to be able to own that, right? That is what it's about for me. I don't want you to be scammed. I don't want you to be abused. I don't because you're not like me. For me, if you do something, I'll just, um, you know, I'll take care of what I need to do. But some people do walk away, and so I don't need to go through that. Okay. Um, my other channel. So I'm creating another channel. We working on some stuff. It will be everything else that is not land acquisition, building in Ghana. It will be everything else. Um, but it will be basically about life, the stuff we go through. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be a great channel because we're gonna have guests. They will come in and we're gonna just go 100. And it's going to be for the brave, you know, brave guests, and we're gonna speak our mind. We're gonna tackle everything, everything. We're even gonna tackle how I want you to protect your assets. we're gonna do it. There's some people in this world that are just taking advantage of people. It's wrong. So we're gonna do that. Okay, we're gonna any other topic that is relevant, we're gonna talk about it, right? Um, and so I'm working on that with a couple of guys. At the right time, um, we will bring it up and stuff like that. But I think it's going to be a good thing because some of you asked me questions, about personal stuff, about things that affect what we're trying to do, as a people individually, and we need a forum to just discuss everything. And it's going to be unapologetic. It's going to be, straight. Take it or leave it. People will come, the guests will speak their mind, and they will share because because there's things that we need to really, really pay attention because we've lost a whole entire generation, and for those who are working so hard to leave a legacy behind, that legacy will be at stake if we don't take care of certain things. Okay. So anyway, yes, no rest, right? So you gotta grind, right? I'll get my rest, but I want to get my rest when I feel like I'm at a point it's job well done, right? So I'm gonna hit it hard for another 10 more years, and then after that I'll rest for the rest of my life. That's the plan. Okay. And so stay hungry, be positive, be smart. Let us know we can help you. There's nothing that I'm doing that you can't do. Just challenge myself, find people that challenge you. You may have to upgrade your inner circles too as well. That's okay. You want more things out of life. And so just just be determined. And when you're determined you want to work hard, you can live the dream. You can live the dream, except that you get to live it with a peace of mind because you acquire these things uh, with fairness, with hard work, and ethically. So, yep, IRR is going up. Yep, yeah, no. So you say there's no do do the IRRs. Don't subsidy that. No, it's no because what you see, um, the good thing, because some people think the IRR is just for strength. There's something called tensile strength, right? So blocks are solid. When you crack, right? It doesn't have tensile strength. The iron rods are flexible, so the wall may crack, but iron rods can hold it together, right? And so I see people do that. Just put iron rods in, just secure that. Okay, because think about it. If I'm just gonna give you a scenario, which is like maybe extreme. Let's say someday, depending on where you live, and a car runs into that wall. Trust me, if you don't have iron rods, that whole wall is going to collapse, and that car is going to continue going. Okay, if you have those iron rods, it's going to hold some of the impact. Okay, and so I'm not about cutting corners. You get to some level in a building, you can play with certain things, aesthetics and the stuff, but structure, no way. Okay, so pay for the iron rods, please. All right. And so, because you take corners and we've seen walls fall down. We've seen it before. Okay. Because what happens is corrode underneath that, the soil moves and eventually because there's nothing permanently holding them down. And then with the rain and the wind and all, eventually it's like boom, collapse. All right. So anyway, thank you very much. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. If I you know where to find me, I appreciate you all the time. Thank you. We have like 37 at most people listening in. But like I said, live your dream, work hard, be smart, and when we can help you, reach out to us, and we help you. And then when we have the next channel, the podcast channel that's coming, we're gonna announce that because I'm trying to create a group that is full of winners. You know, it's full of winners, no excuses, no victims, winners, people that are going through something but they want to win. Okay. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you.